Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from A Pretty Talent and the Waterwell Ministries, and I'm back with another video in the art journaling course. So I want to quickly walk you through what is going to be included in the package. We once again get our surprise picture that we need to deal with. We're going to be dealing with emotions and how we handle conflict. I'll get back to these when I actually deal with them. So those are some worksheets that we're going to be working on. Discovering the principles of design, rhythm, proportion, emphasis, balance, pattern, repetition, variety, and unity. And specifically in this one, we're going to be, we're not getting ahead of this. We're going to be dealing with these issues. Okay. We are going to specifically be looking at line work. What kind of lines to draw and how they portray emotion. I need to get rid of my jersey. We are in the change of seasons time, and it's sort of jersey on, jersey off time. I don't know whether it's cold or hot. Okay, anyway, so we're going to be looking at line and dealing with emotions and line at the same time. We're going to be looking at repetition in shape and line, and then I have some examples thrown in to do that. You can see emphasis. Why am I getting ahead of myself? Repetition in lines, repetition in shapes, repetition in colors, and then using that to create focal points. So you can see focal points being created by achieving that. With the concentric lines here, the focal point is going to be there. In any case, yes, we'll get to that. And then some worksheets on emotional words and so forth. So that's a very short overview of what we are going to be looking at and dealing with. Now, we are going to be working on this paper. It's a Canson mixed media paper, 200 grams a square meter, or 120 pounds. And each person is going to be receiving 2 pages. I've already torn them out from this book. So let me put the book away because you've now seen what we're using. Then, aside from that, the parcel will include one of these art gloves, a set of pencils, and the pencils are 2H, H, F, HB, B, 2B, 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, 7B, and 8B, so 12 pencils in total. Also, some paper stumps and a sharpener. Let me just pull this off. These are just the papers. Don't throw these papers away though, because they can work brilliantly in the journaling. Mine had 2 papers on top. Just do this, clean it up a bit. So this is sandpaper, and you use that to sharpen your pencils with. We'll get to that later. Included also is a white and black coloring pencil, and this is an oil-based coloring pencil, or 2 oil-based coloring pencils, and a sketch eraser pencil. So this is a pencil in a, my word, let me try again, an eraser encased in wood, giving it a pencil shape. And then you will also be getting water-soluble pencils, water-soluble graphite pencils. So these, oh, there it runs away. These are, why did I put that one aside? And I should arrange them differently. I don't know why they're arranged the wrong way around. Let me redo this in here. So this is a 2B pencil, a 4B pencil, a 6B pencil, and an 8B pencil. Right, that all will be included in the parcel. And as you can see, this is going to be a rather interesting one. So where do we start with this? Well, let's start by putting all of this aside. for the moment. I'm not going to put it too far away. And I'm going to pull in my book. So we want to start by taking our cues here. It says glue, watercolor paper. Paper is going to be the mixed media paper, and a pocket. I have kind of decided to do it a little bit differently. I'll show you now why that is. So when I bring this paper in, you can see that this is too big to fit over this page. I don't want that huge cutter. I'm going to bring in my paper cutter, and I need to measure. I'm thinking I don't have a pencil here, but I've got loads of pencils here now. So let me use the ones at hand. If I can just get them out of their packaging. Okay, I'm going to use the 2H because I want a light colored one. This paper is all sides same side, so it doesn't really matter which side I make my markings on. I want it just slightly smaller than my pages are, and that means probably around here. Okay, so now that I've got those markings going, I can use my cutting mat to draw the lines. And this one is, the cutting mat is on the inches side now. I wonder if I shouldn't flip it over. And over again. Okay. Just so that we work with centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to make this one 25 centimeters. I'm just sort of going for the closest line to my mark. 25 centimeters. And this one is, let me make it, yeah, I think 18 centimeters is good. 18 centimeters should do it. Let me just see that I'm on the right spot here. Okay, 18 centimeters. I am again going to say don't. That line is certainly not straight. Let me just straighten out that line. That's much better. Okay. These offcuts we're going to keep, and I will show you during the process why it is that I'm keeping them. That's the cutting line that I'm looking for. Let me first cut off this one. So when you use these, you line your line up with the groove. Which I didn't do. What was I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong groove. Let me just see. Oh, this is a new. There's the groove. Okay. This is a new cutter that I've bought, and I'm still becoming familiar with it. Oh my goodness. Look at this. It's not big enough. Okay, well, that's a pity. Yeah, well, anyways. Okay, not a biggie. We have a pair of scissors at hand, and I can cut relatively straight, and if it's not exactly straight, honestly, who cares? Now I'm going to give this a fold line. That's why I like to use a scorer. This actually has a scorer. Why didn't I not use that? I don't know. Okay, anyways, there's my bone folder. Especially when you're working with thicker cardboard. This is more than paper, this is cardboard. Then you don't get those ugly folds when you use with a scorer. Work with a scorer. Use with a scorer. Okay. Right. So this is where we're at. The last page we worked on was this one that we've glued together. And I am now going to glue 2 pages together. Forget about that third one for a moment. Just to reinforce these pages. Where is my glue? It's here. It's right here. Just gluing this properly together to reinforce that page, which is probably a little bit unnecessary since I am going to be putting this in here. Now I like that. I think what I want to do is to just ink the edges. My book wants to pop closed today. I'm just going to ink the edges of my page ever so slightly. This is a bit of an unnecessary step, I suppose. It's not entirely necessary, but I like it. It finishes it just a little bit more. And then I'm going to come in and just glue this into my book. I think I don't want to go too deeply into the crease there. Actually, I also don't want to glue it in just yet. It's going to be so much easier to take it out and create the art on it on a flat surface than to glue it in now and then create the art in the book that wants to keep closing on you. So okay, that's done. I'm going to leave that one there. And now I need to decide how to go further with this. Now I need to look at my book, and my book has a nice double page picture, double spread picture coming up. And I know I want to use this as a pocket. I'm going to do it slightly differently. So I'm going to start from this double page that I want to save and sort of work forward again. Now, seeing as I know I want to save this, I am going to start creating this pocket by gluing. This is a pocket with 4 pages. Is my glue is just about finished. I am going to frustrate myself with this glue. I have more glue lying on the side here. Let me just get to it. There, that's better. Okay. So that's pages 3 and 4. If the picture page is page 1, let me do that. Well, the picture page is not page 1. Well, if the picture page is page 1, then I've just glued the wrong 2 pages together, but that'll be fine too. I'm just going to give it an extra page now because honestly. Okay, so that should have been page 3 and 4 with picture page 1. Then a page behind that, and then page 3 and 4 together. Now you honestly do not need 3 pages. I've now got 3 pages. 2 would have been ample, but obviously I made a bit of a mistake, and that's not a big mistake. Now, this page I am going to use my double-sided sided tape on. And this time I'm going to make a side pocket instead of a top pocket, just for a little bit of variety and to create something slightly different. So I want to come in here right on the edge with my double-sided tape. I may as well cut this. I was going to tear it and I thought, why? If you have your scissors right here, why do you want to tear it? Okay, anyways, and then again at the top, okay, so when I now glue the pocket, the opening is going to be here on the side. I'm not going to glue the pocket just yet. I want to first do this. Bring the next page over and glue this page to the picture page. I can now take this off. Not an easy page to work with, not an easy picture to work with. Gorgeous in terms of the artwork, lovely colors and vivid painting, but this is going to be a difficult picture to journal. That's okay. We've learned that we like the challenges, so we're going to go with that. Now I'm going to come in and I am going to lift the paper backing off of these. At least I do something else first. Let me bring in my circle punch and just punch half a circle somewhere in the middle. I could measure it, but I'm not going to bother. Just a bit of an opening there. Okay. I am missing my bin. I'm not missing my bin. I miss the bin is standing right here, and I don't seem to be able to toss the papers into the bin. I miss the bin in that sense. Not in the sense of my goodness, why is this not releasing? It's just double-sided tape. It has no mind of its own. Why am I struggling so? You know why it is? It's because the papers are still wet. I think I should give the glue a chance to settle and then pull off that backing and create the pocket. I'm going to do better if I do that. I am, yeah. Okay, so since we've done that now on that side, we're pretty much going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. Okay, so the reason I'm erming is because I've already got this as an acrylic paint page, and I'm not going to use it as such. We're going to have to replan this book. That's okay, there are enough pages to replan and redo and whatever it is. So acrylic paint, that's what's coming up in the next lesson. Did I say that this was lesson 3? Maybe I haven't said it yet. This is lesson 3. It will be in the captioning to the video, but always a good idea to just voice it as well. Okay, so now we've got our pocket coming on this side, and I want to pretty much line up these circles because I want to do an opening on that side as well. And I'm using this transparent side of the punch to line them up so that they're in the same vicinity. Well, at least more or less. And is no hard and fast rule, because honestly, if one is over there and one is over here, what does it matter? But okay, that's what I've done. And now I'm again going to do this. I'm going to mark this pocket by putting the double-sided tape in place. 2 side pockets this time. And again, I'm not going to glue them just yet. I'm going to wait for the glue to dry before gluing it down with the double-sided tape. Why have I got this funny bump going here? Okay, I'll be fine. Okay, then I am going to, oh, this says remove, so that's fine. I'm not going to remove. Okay, I'm going to glue this page down. And this is going to be the opposite side of my pocket pages. So the pocket pages are going to be 8 pages. It's 2, 4, and again 2, 4, so 6, 8. Well, we all know I've got an extra one there, but that was a mistake, wasn't it? Okay. Now, what have we got here? We've got this one going here. We've got its double page. And I want to now create another pocket page here somewhere. Yeah, that's the one I want. I'm just going to remove those because I know what I want to do. I've got to figure out how I want to do it. Okay, so this one could essentially become a pocket on that side. 1, 2, and 2. Get my pocket. So that could become a pocket on that side. And then I could remove these 3. It would have been better if I had removed them on that side. So shouldn't I do that? Even though these are glued together, I can still do that. It's not fixed yet. So I need then, okay, that's my pocket. And let's do a pocket on that one. Okay. Then I've got 1, 2, 3 for another pocket. And then this can be removed. And I should not have glued this thing. But I have. And it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, so I'm going to remove 3 pages from my book. Now your book is not going to work out exactly the same way. These pages I'm going to keep. We might use them later on. Okay. So this page will essentially be keeping all of these together. That's why I like to remove the pages where I paste another page in. And having said that, my book is coming apart here. I have not fixed it because I want to show you how I fix that. It's not the end of the world. You will learn that with me, nothing is ever a huge issue. There are always fixes for everything in the world. Okay, these folds are now irritating me. Okay. So I'm essentially redoing what I've done. That's life. Okay, there's the double page for that one. And then I want to turn this somehow into a pocket. Leave it there. This is going to be turned into a pocket. Leave it there. And these two are already glued together because they form this pocket. So that's fine. Now I can work on my two pockets. What kinds of pockets do I want? How about I give myself, let's work on side pockets for this whole lesson. Let's just work on side pockets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this paper over on itself. And this is going to be a tuck spot pocket. You do not have to fold it all the way. You can also fold it only halfway or 3/4 in or whatever it is. I'm going to go halfway. I'm going to do that all over thing for both of them. But know that you don't have to. There's no rule that says you have to. Okay, so let me just fold this neatly because somehow I'm getting myself tangled up in the pages here. Okay. So now I'm going to have two pages like that. Okay, so what do? We glue this and fold it in again. Okay, now it's going to stay neatly in place. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. You will see in this course, I'm trying to show you all different kinds of ways of, that's a little skew, but never mind. Okay, all different ways of folding pockets and things. So you don't have just one particular way of doing it. So now we need to actually create these pockets, and I am again going to use the double-sided tape to create these pockets. It is going to be best on this side. Okay. Glue is still wet, so I'm just leaving it there. Not gluing it down just yet. Nothing is getting glued down just yet in this project because the glue that I'm using is wet. If you are using a glue stick, you can pretty much work immediately. But I find this a better glue, so a stronger glue. And that's why I prefer to do it like this. Right. So that is in essence the preparation of our book. And I'm going to pause the video so that the glue has a chance to dry. And then I'm going to cut things off video because you honestly do not need to watch me cut this. Okay, let me first cut this. This I still want to cut on video because this is going to become essential. Our other art paper that we have, we're going to take this one and we see that its measurements are 29.5 by 21 effectively. Okay, so 21 is 10.5. Yeah. I don't have. You know what? It's not going to be that. I'm just going to eyeball the half here on the side. Okay, 10.5. 29.5 is 14 3/4. That's a silly measurement. As close to it as possible, I suppose. I don't like measurements like that. They're clumsy, aren't they? Okay, so seeing as my paper cutter doesn't actually take A4 paper, that is, that bugs me. I've got to be honest with you, that bugs me. We work in A4 papers most all the time, isn't it? Yeah, that's not something that I paid attention to when I bought it. Love the paper cutter, but honestly, you've got to, I might as well continue cutting with the scissors now. You gotta be able to cut A4. It's an essential, in my opinion. Anyway, why am I getting upset over stupid, nonsensical things that nothing can change? In any case, I'm looking for my paper, my corner rounder, because I want to round these corners. All of them. And then I am going to ink them. And I'm going to ink them on both sides. But that I will do off camera, so you don't have to watch me do that. And then I'll splice the videos together when I'm done, but I'm going to, yeah, just do a couple of off-camera things. What were the other things I was going to do? I was going to turn these into journaling size pages. So that as well is going to be cut smaller and whatever. And then I'm going to show you what I've done with them. But let me do the cutting off camera so I don't waste your time with that. Okay, I'm back. I just need to make sure that this is recording. Can I see? Yes, it is recording. My apologies for that. So I am back, and having made a couple of preparations and getting things ready and so forth. So I am going to pick it up here. Okay, this page we're still leaving loose. We're not going to stick it in. We are going to come over to this page. And what I have decided to do is the page with the emotion words, the lists of emotions. Those pages I have cut apart like this, and I'm going to use them, I think something like this. I want to use them like this. So, yeah, something like that. I'm not too concerned about where exactly it goes, but yes, that will work. So I'm sort of turning it into a collage of sorts. Probably the glue stick would have been good enough for this, but okay. I started with this one now. So I'm taking the word emotions. I threw the words list of out. I've discarded that, decided I don't need that. Just emotions is good. And yeah, where do I want to go with this? No, I'm going to go with this one. Happy. So, I am loving this. Happy, amused, delighted, glad, pleased, charmed, grateful, optimistic, content, joyful, enthusiastic, loving. It's all about finding your words, finding the correct word. Happy is the one that sort of it's easy on the tongue. It's a familiar one. And so we will often use the word happy when really we want to describe another feeling closely related to happy, but not quite it. And this just gives you more options. Strong. Dynamic, tenacious, hardy, sure, certain, unique, secure, empowered, ambitious, powerful, confident. Those are alternative options. Now I am going to pull the backing of the double-sided tape here. And then, okay, if I can get this off. And then I am now ready to stick this down. And you're going to get upset with me because it's going to go right over that. But that's fine. These are, I can still read it like that. And they're easy references. I'm not too concerned with that. Let me finish this side with the same kind of idea. And then I'll talk a little bit about what I've done there. So let me do the positive one on the outside. I like the positive ones. This one uses the word confident, and then it has strong, brave, assured, certain, prepared, successful, encouraged, peaceful, secure, relaxed, comforted. And then it has the word angry as well. And for anger it has, or for angry it has annoyed, agitated, raging, furious, livid, bitter, fed up, irritated, mad, critical, and resentful. So now I'm pulling the backing of the double-sided tape on this side. And you'll see that in the meantime I have put my jersey back on. Because, as I said, it's one of those kinds of days where it ranges between hot and cold. Again, I can just flip this open and I can read those words. Now, these are the offcuts from this page, okay, that I have simply cut slightly smaller. And these offcuts I am still saving. Just putting it into my little parcel there. And I will be dealing with those again. But I kind of like the idea of this. Do I want to turn this into belly bands? Yes, I do. I like that idea. So instead of gluing it down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take double-sided tape, and I was going to glue it down. My original thought was to just simply glue it down. But now I kind of like the idea of tiny little belly bands. Well, not so tiny, actually. They're quite large. So I'm going to just simply glue the edges. Now, a pocket isn't going to be enclosed well on 2 or 3 sides, depending on the pocket. And a belly band on the 2 opposite ends, whether it's like this or like that, doesn't matter. So with this being a belly band, I'm now going to hit sort of for the center of this. And you will note that I have rounded 2 corners and inked this. And I could have rounded 4 corners, but I kind of like the idea of the 2 corners being rounded on this side and the one in the spine not being rounded. So now I have a tuck spot here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one here. Let me do it here where you can see what I'm doing. Just putting down some double-sided tape. And again, the 2 rounded edges, or corners rather, and the inked edges. but you can't see right now because I've got it upside down. And I remove the backing, and I stick this down, not right in the spine, because this one also gets to serve as a belly band, more or less the same height as the one opposite. And there we go. Now, I can tell you that this being proper drawing paper, I'm not done with this. I'm going to return to this, not just yet, but a little later on. I might do that. Now, I've got 2 of these left. Tired and hurt. Tired, indifferent, bored, drained, exhausted, dull, weary, powerless, dejected, listless, burnt out and fatigued. And I am just going to do this. I'm going to glue this. Come work here. And then I'm going to put this one on right on the back of that one. And I cut them up together so I cut them out together so they should be the same size, or very close to the same size. Okay, so on this side I have hurt. Jealous, betrayed, let down, tender, wounded, impaired, damaged, criticized, abused, punished, rejected. So what do I now do with these? I'm going to just tuck that one in there, at least for the moment. It might not stay there, but it's good for now. Right, I've also cut out 2 tabs. I always get myself jumbled up in those words. And on the one, I am simply going to write the word, well, let me just write it in the right place this time. Lesson 3 on both sides. You will remember the previous time I wrote it down here, and of course it ended up in the wrong place. Okay, so that's lesson 3, and the page that lesson 3 starts on is going to be this one. Oh dear. And I'm going to put this one right about there. That should be fine. Now what I did there was to just look at where my previous 2 tabs were. I got myself tangled up in the word again. And I don't want them all to be lying in a line. So that's my lesson 3 tab in place. Okay, those are in place. And now I want to show you what I've done with these. Okay, so these we are going to be tucking in, well, either of these 2 sides, but we're going to tuck this whole parcel, all 4 pages, we're going to tuck into one of these. And we will get back to these, of course we will. You'll know me by now, that's the way it works. This page, the heading on this one was, how do you feel today? Let me quickly go there. How do you feel today? My sense of humor got the better of me. I love the idea of sticking this down here. So I've kept the heading, and I've inked it and everything, and I'm going to, when I start collaging this, I'm gonna go with that, because there are days that we feel like doing this. We don't do it, but we feel like doing that. Going on a murderous rampage. Okay. I did not want to cut this page up. So I've cut it smaller and I've inked the edges. And I've done nothing at the back, and I might leave it like that or not. I'm on 2 minds about how I want to do one aspect of this lesson. Not going to get ahead of myself on that. So this is simply folded in 3. That gives you 3 lines per fold. And then there was no halfway mark because I don't want to fold into the faces. So I folded 3 and 4, and I'm okay with that because if I now tuck this in, let's say into this spot here, that's okay. I'm okay without that. I think I'm going to turn this about. I'm going to tuck those in there and bring this one in here. I kind of like that better. Or even even like that, Okay, dealing with emotions. What I've done is I've taken the 4 worksheets, I've cut them apart, then I glued them back to back to each worksheet, and there's no order yet, it's whatever works for you. Rounded the corners and inked them, and for the time being, I'm going to tuck it in here, and this is going to be for the time being because I suspect they'll end up somewhere else in the journal, but for now that's going to be fine. My little surprise picture, I have rounded the corners. I have inked this. I think it was a bit of a waste of time because this is a really dark picture. And let me put her in here until I'm ready to deal with her. She's not for now. This page with its example pictures, I don't want to cut apart either, and the reason is that if you've got it open like this, you can see all the examples at one glance. And so again, I've just sort of done a tri-fold and then again a tri-fold, and I can, where do I tuck this in? This is temporary. It's staying there temporarily for the moment only. We're creating more pockets, but I'm just sort of tucking these in where I can find space for them. These ones, the lines back to back and the repetitions back to back, rounded corners, inked edges, tucking them away for the time being. And a little later on, I don't like how this is going in. So I'm just going to put it like that there. It's obvious that's not the way it's going to go. Now this one, I need to pay a little bit more attention to. So this is the little booklet. And again, you're going to have to work very carefully to keep all your pages in the correct order. It might be a better idea to number the pages before you start. There are 7 pages. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then because just to keep them all the same thickness, this empty page that was on the reverse side of this one or next to it, I've just glued that to the back as well so that the pages are all the same thickness when you feel them. It's a sensory thing. If you don't want to, obviously, you don't have to. Now I need to decide how am I going to handle this. And I've sort of been playing with some different ideas and so on. And I think what I want to do is all of our pockets are going to be side pockets, aren't they? So I kind of like the idea of, I've got space at the top. So let me use my stapler and just simply try that second staple again. Staple them together like that. But then I also want to put them into one of our side pockets, and I'm going to give myself a little tag here, and it's a nice extra. You'll be able to build this out without the tag, but I just like the sort of finishing touch it gives me. And obviously you can do this for more of them. I keep pulling the whole thing off instead of just the backing paper. Here we go. Okay. Well, let me stick that one down. So long. Right. And pull the backing paper away again. Lift this up, because I only want to stick this to the back. Yay, yay, yay. I should have come slightly in, but that's okay. I'm not losing too much. I'll know what's going on there. Okay. And so now, essentially, when I put this into one of these side pockets, I'll be able to slide it out easily and quickly. You can do it with literally all of these. I'm not going to do it with all of them. Let me just slide it in there. I'm being silly with this. They don't need to go in here. Let me take this excess out and just finish building it again. Just finish creating the journal first, and then I'll come back. I'm going to leave that one there because it goes with these. Okay, putting those aside, let's finish building the journal first. You will remember we need to create a pocket here still. So I now need to remove this double backing paper off the double-sided tape. Why is this giving me such a hard time today? I am normally quite good at this. But today, you have to take my word for it, because this is not what you see. It's only what you hear. There we go. It wasn't so hard, was it? Now, when you go over the edge like that, just double back on yourself. That's not a humongous thing. Okay. Come, come. I haven't given myself a lot of space to maneuver in here. Let me do it on this side where I have more space. It feels awkward because then I have to do it left-handedly, but okay. Now I stick that down, and I have created a side pocket here. Love that. Love, 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 love that. Love this. How do you feel today? This makes me giggle. It just suddenly makes this awkward picture so relatable. Well, you know what I mean. Not completely. But yeah, I can now journal with it because I've turned it into a bit of a humorous picture instead of the horrible picture it is. Okay, anyways, I am going to create this side pocket as well. With it being a colder and wetter day, the glue is certainly taking its time to dry. And so even though I've been working here for a while now, preparing all these pages, it is still not entirely dry. What is it with you? Go on. I feel like I literally got to manhandle this glue to get it off the page.
This, of course, is the one that I have glued 3 pages together, so it's slightly wetter than the others have been. And well, that's because of my own stupidity, if you like. Not really stupidity, it's just a little bit of an error that I made. And it's not a big one. Okay, pull it out there. Stick this one down. It's very wet there in the fold. Okay, that one I will get back to, or shall I put this down now? I'm a little if I stick it down now, why not? Why not? Take a risk. Okay, so what's putting me off the idea of sticking it down is that once I start actually working with this picture, I might find that this should have been in another place, another spot, and then they're stuck down and I can't move them. But I trust I'll be able to work around it, so I'm showing a bit of confidence in myself here, my own abilities. And I'm just taking the risk, living dangerously. Oh, that's not living dangerously. Anyway, yes, I'm going to stick it down. I have to be honest with you. This is a character trait of mine, organizing things. When I know it would be better for the project if I stopped organizing at this point and just allowed it to sit there for a moment. Okay, so now that I've got my 4 pockets created, I can honestly tell you, I want these to be visible, so I'm going to put those there. I will want to maybe put these arty ones. Did I not cut them small enough, or why are they sticking? Is it because everything is still wet? I might have to trim these down here at the bottom. There is enough space. Okay, I'm going to trim them so they're smaller. Okay, that might mean that I'd have to do the same thing. Nope, I did a better job here. Those fit there. Now, why am I doing that? The emotional words are, well, they're emotional, aren't they? Those are emotional activities. So they will probably end up being a little bit more private, and that's why I'm tucking them in, so that we're hiding them away a little bit. It might be no, I'm pulling this thing apart. I will make that one smaller. I'm just going to trim it at the bottom. And once I've trimmed it, no, I'll use the guillotine for that. Okay, that will fit better. I did like the idea of this. I've got to be honest with you. I like the idea of putting that there. So I'm going to do that. I like the idea of this one going in here. So I'm going to do that. I'm left with this. Oh, and this one. I just lost it. So let's put this one in here. It's not something that needs to be hidden away or anything. I want the lines on at the top. Okay, that's just me. Oh my word, I have folded these over, but okay. I've straightened my corners again. Okay, so they go into this pocket here. No, they don't like that. Now, how much am I going to be bothered? Can't really cut this one shorter. Not much. So, okay. Let's just quite simply fold them and tuck them in. Now, hang on. Do I have a better idea going now? Because that one will tuck in there without having to be shortened. Still very wet. Wrong time to do it, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Okay. I want this the other way around. Nope, leave it. Leave it, leave it, leave it. When I open it like that, it'll be the right way around, so leave it be. Okay, that can go in there. This colorful one I like a lot, so I'm going to put that one in there. And then all of my pictures and things are accounted for and in place. This one, not yet. And I'm not certain what I want to do with it, so let me tuck it in here until I'm certain what I want to do with that. Okay, what have I done here? It's an afterthought thing, but I need to show you. Remember I told you that I'm going into my planning for the acrylic paper already. I don't want to lose the reminder that I need to add acrylic paper, acrylic paint paper here. So I've just stuck it down here in the middle of the page, just as a reminder that my planning for the rest of the book needs to accommodate that. Okay, now we have not started with any of the art or the whatever it is. There's a couple of things that I still need to add to this. But essentially, this lesson is planned. What do I need to do here? I need to now, at this point, fix this. There are a few ways in which to do this. Here's the librarian in me coming out and thinking, what is best? Well, adding wood glue, book binders glue. I've just closed it instead of opening it. Okay, wood glue is also called book glue, is also called craft glue, is also called PVA glue, and that's literally what we use to fix books with. Paper is essentially wood pulp, isn't it? Now, I don't have to stay like that. And I'm going to add a little bit more here. Now my whole book is going to be very wet, and that's okay. I'm going to add a little bit more glue there. And I am going to close it and leave it be for now. I will probably need to come in with some binding tape. I don't have bookbinders tape, but I have something similar that will probably work well there. I'll talk you through a couple of options as well. But for now, this needs to be left very, very still. So since I want to leave it, let me pull out these papers. Then I can at least continue working on those, even though I will not be able to finish working on everything now. Okay, so let's talk then about, no, let me not. Let me start a new video on the artwork, make this video on the preparation of the book altogether, the book and the notes, and then I'll start the art on a completely new video, because otherwise the videos are going to be a little bit long.
So I'll see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.